Hey everybody, I wanted to do a video on some of the uncovering of some of the tender plants that I protected during this polar vortex event. The lowest temperatures we saw were a few nights of 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about minus 18 Celsius. Definitely gets colder in this area, but nonetheless pretty cold because we had a good week and a half of similar temperatures to that. And so I wanted to go through a few things. This is the cherry laurel. Did great. Minor protection with that cloth in the background there, but all the leaves look quite nice. Cryptomeria japonica, spirals, looks good. It's natural for cryptomerias to take on that kind of bronze, almost purple hue. Coppertalica magnolia. It's a small broadleaf evergreen tree. Definitely received some burn with some of the leaves, but most of the leaves look quite green and lush. Funny thing with this one, it was almost like a all or nothing with the leaves. We'll go over here. It's a little Cryptomeria japonica cultivar. I find with cryptomerias, the tighter the foliage, the more hardy they are. And again, in the cold climate, they'll take on this bronze hues naturally. Nandina that I covered with snow. And by the way, I don't cover the cryptomerias, the tight foliage ones at all. They're perfectly hardy. Nandina, firepower, bulletproof, 0 damage on the foliage. And that was covered by snow. Another cryptomeria that I don't bother covering because the foliage is tight. Here's my scabrina, clumping bamboo. Slight damage, but it's its first year, so looking pretty good. And I'm going to pause this to show you some other plants. Arlene Leach, American Holly, no damage, minimal protection. Question to everybody, does anybody know what this is? I bought this many years ago as like a perennial, and every winter it's at least semi-evergreen or evergreen. So I think it was some kind of sage, but if you know what this is, it doesn't really get much taller than that, but spreads. So if you know what it is, let me know, please. Black bamboo, no protection whatsoever. It's exposed to quite a bit of cold wind. Definitely some foliage burn, but the stems are perfectly hardy. Well, at least the bottom part is for sure. So good results, I would say. It's his first year. Yellow bamboo, same as the black bamboo, 0 protection. A little bit of leaf burn. Stems are perfectly hardy. First year, good results. Bracken's Brown Beauty Southern Magnolia. This is aka my miracle tree. So as you can see down here, I built a lousy structure and around to protect this plant when the cold temperatures came, and unfortunately I did a crappy job on it, and we got some heavy snowfall and the thing completely collapsed. This tree was literally leveled to the ground. I mean, it was like lying horizontally on the ground for I don't know how long, and it's a miracle it's not completely toast. And besides some leaf burn, which actually happened from the sun in spring, summer, mostly, it's looking pretty good. Stem's perfectly healthy. Unfortunately, the top here snapped off when the structure fell upon it. But other than that, I think it's going to be okay. So I'll do another update eventually in the early summer with this one. Camellia japonica April Dawn. This was one I was really interested to see what the cold effect would be. I covered that one with this frost cloth, and turned out pretty good. It's definitely got a little bit of leaf burn on the top with some leaves on the top over there. But the interesting thing is the flower buds were definitely not damaged, and there's all kinds of flower buds developing all over the plant, which most definitely were not there a month ago. So throughout all this cold, this thing started to develop a lot more flower buds, so I'm looking forward to that. But overall, I would say healthy plant, nice and green, and yeah, looking pretty good. So I'm excited about this camellia. Beside it, there's a little plum yew, a fastiga, or a narrow growing plum yew, which I just put that pot over. American holly, canary, looks good. The male to pollinate it, just fine. And there's another canary. So here's the Magnolia virginiana, Ned's Northern Belle. Stood up to its name as being a broadleaf evergreen in cold temperatures. This I did not protect whatsoever. I mean, it's a little too tall and big. So a little bit of leaf burn, definitely, but for the most part, stood up to its name for being a broadleaf evergreen. Sable Minor, looking pretty decent, I would say. I just covered this with a frost cloth and a bucket over top. And unless I'm going crazy, I could have swore some of these spears even grew a little bit. So, but the thing about palms, we'll see probably more in spring of how much damage there really is. But saying that, pretty much all this is new growth from last year. So it'll bounce back just fine. And I got my needle palm here, which I'm not going to take out because I want to keep it as dry as possible. Japanese Akuba, variegated, Mr. Goldstrike, I believe. Just fine. I usually don't have any problems with the Japanese Akuba as long as I protect it with something like that. Here's the other Japanese Akuba I have. Does great. This is Sturatia, I believe it's called. It's like a narrow toothed leafed green Akuba, but does quite well. And I find that the best type of fabric is this green stuff. If you can get your hands on that, if you haven't tried it, I find by far that is the best for the plants. One thing I love about this Akuba is, I don't know if you can see it, but the buds have this like almost, hopefully that will focus. It doesn't look like it's focusing, but the buds take on like a purple hue, and quite an attractive plants. And this will straighten out in within a few weeks. It just had some like heavy snowfall on it. And this is something I'm really shocked about over here. This is my tea camellia, which had pretty much zero winter burn on it. And I'm shocked because this is by far, apparently, the least hardy of them all. It is one of the hardiest cultivars called Saki, but yeah, you're definitely not supposed to be able to grow tea camellia in this climate. Unfortunately, some of the animals started to nibble away at it. I guess it tastes good. But yeah, I was shocked with this one. So it appears to do quite fine with at least with 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So anyway, that's it. So everything did quite well. So that's the interesting things is all these plants that you're not supposed to be able to grow in southern Ontario. Well, guess what? With a little bit of protection, you can grow them. Anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Take care.